that Errol Spence talk with Virgil Ortiz. They're both from Texas. They've done big numbers in Texas. Does it make more sense, business sense, for that fight to happen next?
I don't know. I don't know what the numbers are going to show. Earl Spence is a star. He definitely sells well in Texas. I've had my guys fight on a couple of his undercards out there. And it'll be the same demographic, but an in-state kind of thing where you're dealing with. I think him and Virgil are both from the Dallas area, and you had that, and then you have you know, uh, the black crowd versus the Mexican American and Mexican crowd. So it'll definitely sell. It's definitely a big fight. But we were talking about Virgil and Boots.
Hmm.
You can't fight two people at the same time. So either you're going to fight Earl or you're going to fight Boots. But the whole point of what Virgil and Boots were doing was to make a fight between the two of them. And they could say that Boots don't have a belt. Well, Earl don't have one either at 54. Last time I checked. So like, I don't know. I don't know.
They would be
Uh,
leaving money on the table if they didn't take the Virgil Ortiz. I mean, if Errol Spence, right? Just knowing that we know he's about to retire soon.
I don't know. I mean, is Earl Spence active? Is he fighting? Like, what's happening with him? He hasn't fought in a while. He hasn't made any announcements. We don't know. We don't know what's going on with Earl Spence. You know what I mean? That's
We just
another
know he
unknown.
showed up to the fights, right?
He showed up to the fight. Probably he might like boxing. It's a big fight in his hometown. Like that doesn't mean that he's gonna be ready to fight Virgil Ortiz in 3 or 4 months. We don't know. So I don't know. Like I'm not definitely not telling nobody not to make their money. That's a big fight. But we just don't know what's going on with Earl Spence right at this moment.
Even that saying that, how do you feel like that fight would turn out in Dallas if they were to meet up?
I would have to see the form that Earl is in. You know what I mean? It's I can't really answer that question because the last time we saw Earl, he fought Terrence Crawford, which was 2.5 years ago. So I have no idea how he would look, what kind of shape he would be in, what kind of camp he would have. That's too hard to answer. I don't know. If it's the Earl Spence of his prime, I think he would probably beat Virgil. But I don't know if he's there. I can't really
Hmm.
say.
Uh, 228 Food Market. Thank you for the $2. Great question. What coach think Virgil do good to give Boots problems?
Virgil got good fundamentals. You know, he seems very physically strong, and he throws tight, short punches. She's short with his shots. You know what I mean? And he brings his hands back in place. He keeps his hands up in place while he's throwing those tight, little, hard, short shots. As much as I love Boots, sometimes Boots get a little bit loosey goosey, and he be, playing around and stuff like that. And he would have to be on top of that with a guy like Virgil because Virgil keeps his hands up and he's throwing short, tight, crisp punches and he brings his hands back in place. Where Boots is nasty in the mid range on the inside, but sometimes Boots get a little bit loosey goosey with himself. And you'll hear his dad say, "Stop playing around so much, Boots." You literally hear him say that. So, and Boots is so violent and he's such a attacking kind of fighter. I know it's gonna be one of them. Like it's not gonna be a pretty boxing match, like where the slick guy is trying to get away from him. Boots like to put pain on people. So against
Right.
Virgil, we would have to um, just be mindful to be responsible with his defense because Virgil don't set his stuff up the way Boots do. Boots set himself up from all different angles and southpaw orthodox. He's kind of like impromptu when he fight. Virgil is hands up, elbows in, everything tight, short, and sharp. So Boots will have to be on top of that because even though Boots probably is a little bit faster, and when you in that close, a lot of times your fundamentals is the most important thing. And Virgil fundamentals is on point when it come down to the mid range and the inside. That's where Boots got to be super, super. His mind just got to be real sharp. He got to be sharp defensively when he in there with him. Because like I said, sometimes Boots get a little loosey goosey on the inside. I think that's just his personality. That's just how he do things. But he will have to be on top of that.
What intrigues you the most about this fight? A lot of people say, "Hey, listen, if it turns into a firefight, it could be Virgil Ortiz's favor due to those fundamentals and tight guard. But in the same time, if Boots can turn it into a boxing match, it would favor him more." I mean, what do you say when you look at that matchup? What intrigues you the most?
You know, what intrigues me the most is how I believe that Boots is going to fight him. Boots can box and he got tremendous boxing skills, but he's a killer. He's more of like an attacking kind of boxer. So you got like pure boxers like Pernell Whitaker and Floyd Mayweather, where they just want to outpoint you and their makeup is defense first. And then you got boxer puncher killers. You got guys that like to attack, like Boots
Crawford.
Ennis, Terrence Crawford. Tommy Hearns was another guy. He could box, but he liked to attack. He want to hurt you. Sugar Ray Leonard could be in that mode, even though he could do both. Sugar Ray Robinson was in that mode. Meldick Taylor, who's
Holyfield.
from my Holyfield's a little bit different, but I get what you're saying. But Meldick Taylor, who's a Philadelphia legend, if you watching him fight Chavez, he's attacking Chavez. He ain't running from him. He's attacking him with his speed. Um, I think that what makes this fight so great is that both of their mentalities. Like
Mm.
Boots got a killer mentality. Boots is a athletic attacker. He wants to put pain on you. And Virgil Ortiz is an attacker. So I don't think it's a thing where they're gonna nullify and cancel out each other's styles and it won't be an exciting fight. I think we're gonna get a a tactical war. I think we're gonna get like Tito Vargas. That's the kind of fight that I envision it being. And plus, bro, they're young. They're young and undefeated. And when you dealing with young, undefeated guys, they don't have that PTSD in their head of getting beat and knocked out and holding back. And they don't have that in them. They want to go out there and put on the show and win and show everybody who's the best. You get the best fights when you got young, undefeated killers that's going for it. And I think that that's what this fight is going to be.
Mm, I like it. Do you feel like the fight goes 12 rounds due to the fact of all the punches being thrown and how violent both fighters are?
I don't. I think that Boots stops them late in the shootout, but it could go 12 rounds because they both show good chins. I know Virgil was down a couple of times versus Boacek, but he's showing a good chin. And Boots, I mean, have we ever seen him hurt? People talk about his defense, but we gotta give his chin some props. He don't. Boots got a chin so far. Seems like he doesn't even show effective punches so far. Now, listen, I don't brag about a fighter's chin. I don't believe in that. Anybody could be stopped, um, in my opinion. But both guys have shown really good chins. And Vargas Trinidad went 12 rounds. You know what I mean? Like he got stopped. Vargas got stopped in the 12th round, but that was a long, sustained shootout. Um, I could see the fight going a distance, but I think most likely it'll end in a late knockout.
Do you feel like how boxing is moving? Do you feel like they would need to put a title on the line for this type of a fight?
I think it would be great if a title was on the line, but you can't just give them a title. Like they don't have the belts. Like it's four champions in the division. Um, I was hoping that a title could be on the line, but Boots and Virgil, neither one of them picked up a belt before they decided to fight each other. You know what I mean? So I don't know how you put a belt on the line when there's no belts available. And they can't fight for the ring belt because that's a number one and number two thing. And I don't know if Jamel Charlo vacated the ring belt because he was the ring champion at 154, but he hasn't fought in 2 years. So I don't know how the ring policies works with, how long a champion cannot defend the belt. But I think it's a shame that they don't have belts because both of them are interim